Hi, welcome to Happier Ladies, a podcast where we discuss all things related to the Happier and Happier in Hollywood podcasts.
We're sisters
And super fans
who can't get enough happier.
So we created our own podcast to keep the conversation going.
I'm Malika Amandi, a SoCal native living in Western Massachusetts, a new mom, and an entrepreneur. I'm here with my sister, Azizi Williams.
That's me. I live and work in the LA area. I'm a not-so-new mom, and I'm an education professional in the independent school world. In this episode, we explore all things personal style.
But first, Azizi,
Yeah?
remember a couple episodes ago, I shared my conundrum about introducing myself to the barista at the coffee shop I go to all the time?
Yes, I remember that.
We talked about it. I didn't come to any new conclusions. I just still continued to not introduce myself.
Okay. So you just opted not to introduce yourself.
Yeah, I was just going with the flow of that decision. This week, I ran into her at the YMCA in the locker room. And it was funny because immediately we recognized each other. It was like bumping into a friend. And we were both like, oh my gosh, hey.
Was it awkward?
No, that's what's funny about it. It was like when you see that person out of context, but somehow it made me feel like I knew her really well. And I think vice versa. Like we don't have that reaction when we interact at the coffee shop, but she wasn't expecting to see me at the Y and vice versa. And anyway, it was just like a very quick and very positive response on both sides. And so almost without thinking, I just was like, oh, my name is Malika. And she told me hers is Christina, which is also the name of our first dog. So I will remember that.
That was the name I wanted to have when I was a kid. That's a name that's very special to me.
So it just worked itself out. It felt like in that neutral space, there was no need to withhold names. And then I saw her a few days later at the coffee shop again, and we had a little more chit chat. We didn't address one another by names, but it was a friendly interaction.
I have a follow-up question, Malika.
Yes.
Did you have clothes on when you ran into each other in the locker room at the YMCA?
We were both fully clothed. Yes.
Oh, good. Because that would have been a whole other level of awkward.
Yeah, we might not have talked if that was the case.
I would have avoided eye contact.
Right. No, this was the best case scenario.
Best case scenario. I wonder if she runs into people all the time, though.
I don't know.
She must, right? If you
It's a
are
small
a
town.
local coffee shop person, it's a small town, yeah.
But whether she does or doesn't, she was excited to see me. So
That's nice. That's what matters. So the next time you have to use her name.
yes.
Like now that you know it, you should put it in rotation.
Right. Okay. I'll report back.
Okay.
Azizi, what happened on Happier this week?
On Happier, episode 486, Gretchen and Liz discuss how to design your summer. They contemplate a preference for adventure or comfort, and they share a listener's question about friendship duties.
What stood out to you in this episode, Azizi?
At some point, Gretchen was talking about one of her summer bucket list things, or something that she was aspiring to do this summer was to celebrate the 4th of July. And we have a tradition of having a barbecue and having family over and kind of doing very traditional, American celebration around on the 4th of July. And it's kind of a fun, light activity. We live near the Rose Bowl. They have a big fireworks display, so we could go outside and watch the fireworks from where we live. But this year I'm kind of sad because my youngest daughter, Sanai, is going to be away at a program for the 4th of July. And it's going to be the first time we're not going to all be together on the 4th of July. So I'm feeling a little sad about that.
Wow. What are you going to do?
Well, Grace and I are going to Disneyland during the day. And then at night, I don't know what we're going to do. I have to figure this out. I don't know. I'll check in with Alea. She might have plans with one of her friends, but we'll have to figure that out. It's different. Anyway, I endorse Gretchen's taking it on and finding a way to do something with the family. I think it's a really fun event. Do you do anything, Malika, for the 4th of July?
We don't have like a standard thing. Often we'll end up at somebody's barbecue or something. So it's not a holiday that I personally put a lot of thought into. We kind of just end up doing whatever's going on. We used to go to your house quite a bit.
Right. Because barbecue.
Barbecue. So,
What's usually happening. So I guess that should be a key component. Gretchen's holiday, if she's thinking of ideas, barbecue, I would recommend somehow. So then they talked about Liz and Gretchen, their sister trip hiking in England, it sounded like some multi day hiking adventure, which sounded amazing. They seemed really excited about it. But Malika, for me, I just can't get into hiking. It just seems like a lot of work. I feel like I need to reframe it. I like being in nature, but just the hiking part of it, like the goal oriented
mm.
getting to a place. I don't know. Do you like hiking, Malika?
I've gone back and forth over my life. So, I think right now I'm in a less interested in hiking phase, though I do enjoy being in nature.
Yeah.
One thing that I've learned is that a hike can be just a walk in a beautiful place. Like some person might call that hiking and another person might call it going for a walk. So
Right.
I love going for a walk. I think particularly in California, a hike almost always meant like scaling a mountain. And
Right.
that is hard. And depending on how my knees are and my ankles that year, like I don't feel as excited about that. But I think I'm always down for just a walk.
I love walking. Like I love a walk. I love more a stroll.
Mhm.
I like a stroll or a saunter, but I don't like going on a hike where I don't know how long it's going to take or what lies ahead or where the end
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
exactly. It feels like I have a loss of control. I'm going into something I don't know how I'm going to get out. That's the other part of it that I think I don't like. Now, of course, if it was a hike that I was very familiar with and did multiple times, I might have a different feeling. So,
We grew up across the street from Eaton Canyon, which is like a big hiking area in Pasadena. And we used to go to the waterfall quite a bit.
we did, and it was very quiet and peaceful, and I have fond memories, but I think I have less fond memories of actually making it to the
Mm.
waterfall and more just like playing in the
Hmm.
creek, being near the water, being at the nature center. Those were the things that I enjoyed more about that experience. But now it's so crowded. So many people there.
Do you feel like you prefer adventure or comfort? That was another question that they discussed.
Yeah, I guess it depends on, okay, this is the questioner in me. What is adventure and comfort? How do you define those exactly? I like novelty,
Yes.
but it depends on what it is. But at the same time, I will always visit the beach. Like if I have a preference for a vacation, it's going to always be
Mm.
a hotel at the beach. And that seems super comfortable. So probably it's comfort over adventure for me.
Hmm.
What about you?
Yeah, I think similarly, like in terms of range of experiences, like just doing new things, I like adventure. I like trying new foods. I like traveling to places I haven't been before. I like adventure in that sense. When it comes to like
Hmm.
creature comforts and ruggedness, like the spectrum of rugged to luxe, I think I'm much more on the luxe side, and especially the older I get, of what I would prefer. So I would rather stay in a hotel than go camping. I think most of us would agree that camping is more adventurous, but I think I prefer more amenities than less.
More amenities.
Yes.
But see, I would do, and I have like daydreamed about having a great RV and taking a road trip, around the country. Is that an adventure?
Yeah, that sounds like an adventure.
But I have a bed. I think there's a place for both of them. I think I'm open to both of them, but probably comfort would be my
Yeah.
preference.
I think it's a good question to ask on a trip by trip basis. Like, is this trip going to be about adventure or comfort? And that can help you just make all of the decisions around it?
And actually, maybe you should aim to have a little bit of both in your trip.
Mm,
What are we going to do that's adventurous on one of the days? And how are we going to be comfortable? So maybe there's a place for both.
I like that. It's not a binary.
It's a range, it's a spectrum, if you will.
I like it. So, something else that Gretchen revealed on this episode is that she's going to Japan this summer after all. with one of her daughters.
Yay. Malika, I'm so excited. I don't know if you remember, I said, Gretchen, just go on the trip. She was really disappointed that she couldn't go, that it didn't work out for her husband. He was going to be busy. And I was like, I just really wish she would just go on this trip with her girls. And she's going. That's fantastic. I'm happy for her.
Me too. Maybe we manifested it, Azizi.
I'd like to take responsibility. No, that's not fair.
That's not fair.
Yeah, definitely her own free will, but I love a girls' trip. My girls and
Mhm.
I go on trips annually at least, and it's so fun. It's so, if she hasn't done this before, or if this is a new kind of adventure for her, I'm just really excited for her.
I think she has mentioned going on solo trips with each of her daughters before as something she really enjoyed and something she was wanting to do again.
That's right. She went to Paris last year or something like that. So, yeah, it should be a tradition. They can do an annual thing.
I'm just excited to hear all of the fun details or whatever makes it to the happier realm. I can't wait to take it in.
Me too.
So Liz gave herself a demerit for Daisy and Nacho's behavior. Those are her two corgis. They embarrassed her when she had guests over, and it made me think of Kermit.
Uh-huh. Your dog?
So recently, Norm was walking Kermit, and they ran into a neighbor and her dog, a neighbor who we see pretty regularly. And Kermit and her dog get along quite well and kind of do a little playful thing. And so they did that. And then Norm was continuing to talk to the neighbor. The dogs were just sitting there. And then Kermit started sniffing around like you do as a dog.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
he peed on the neighbor's shoe.
What?
And if I was there, I don't know what I would have done, but Norm was just kind of speechless. And the neighbor was a little bit obviously miffed. She handled it really well, but it was, who
Ah,
does
that's
that?
so gross.
Come on. Like, come on, dogs. Like, it wasn't even like he really had to go, you know? Like, it was such a weird behavior. We've never seen it before. Knock on wood, we haven't seen it since. I brought it up to the vet at his recent appointment checkup, and they were like, "Oh, that is weird." And they didn't really have anything to say except, well, if you start seeing that again, let's talk about it. But it sounds like it was an isolated
Oh,
incident.
Kermit.
But just when you think, it's given him so much praise for his good behavior, and I mean, all that's still true, but it just goes to show you think you know a dog, and
But didn't he pass the good behavior
oh,
class? Like
yes.
good behavior one or something? You actually trained Kermit. Kermit is the most trained of all of our dogs.
Yeah, it was embarrassing, and I don't know. Has Bo done anything like that to embarrass you?
No. Bo's not done anything like that before. That's pretty embarrassing. But what Bo will do, especially when he's out on a walk, he's in the zone. He doesn't want to be
Mm.
bothered. But he's a cute, fluffy dog and he's small or sort of like medium size. Inevitably, a child will come up towards him and he just goes, "Grr."
Mm.
They take a step back, like he kind of growls at them and they jump back. And it's like, oh, I'm so sorry. He's not dangerous, but he doesn't want to be bothered. And that's hard. That's embarrassing. You want a dog who's going to be friendly and warm,
Yeah,
and kind of reflect your mood and attitude with people. But that is not our dog. He's a guard dog, even though he's cute and fluffy.
that's funny. He does have a gnarly gnarl.
He does. He's very good at it. It's just like I'm irritated, meh, go away kind of thing. I should probably get him trained also. I'm right there with Liz and Gretchen with not having the classes. That probably I should put it on my list too. What happened on Happier in Hollywood, Malika?
On Happier in Hollywood, episode 370, Sarah and Liz continue answering listener questions.
So one of the things they talked about was a book about an upward spiral.
That's
I don't
right.
remember the author, but a listener wrote them to say that her husband wrote a book all about upward spiral and sort of positive attitude. And I'm going to put that book on my list also. That sounds like a good read.
Sarah got a listener question about salads and whether or not she was still eating them because she had mentioned that she was really getting into salads and a lot of people were giving her advice about them. And she shared that she wasn't eating salads the way she wanted to, but yes, she still is interested in salads.
Right. And so as I was listening to this, I just wondered why. And I feel like I wondered this before. Maybe we talked about this before when she shared about getting the salad spinner and some of the obstacles that were in the way of salad making. But I think she'd be a great candidate for a salad kit. I think she should just purchase a few salad kits and see how they feel. They're fantastic. Everything's pre-portioned. You have the dressing, you have the fun toppings, you can add things to it. It's sized for about maybe 3 people, and that's on repeat for us. We mix it up, but usually we're having a salad kit with our meal. I will say it is not the most sustainable. And I mentioned this before because it does end up using plastic for each bag.
Right.
But in terms of convenient and getting your vegetables in, it's an easy solution.
It is an easy solution, and I'm totally the person that buys salad kits and then they wither in the vegetable crisper.
Why?
I
Just
don't
eat it.
know.
Why
I
don't
do
you
not
eat
know.
it? Just open the bag.
I do not know.
This is not hard.
I think because
Okay. All right.
I really like salad, I can't fathom just eating it by itself. I feel like I have to zhuzh it up. And so there is still a step to do. I don't know, honestly. I think we just forget about them. It might just be a real estate issue in the refrigerator.
Okay. Listen. Even at Trader Joe's, they have salad kits. They come with the zhuzh already in a little baggie. It's got like the nuts and seeds and cranberries in one little bag, and it's got the fun dressing in another
It's
bag.
easy.
So there's
I know this
what? There's
product.
nothing more you have
I
to do.
purchased it. I know what it is.
Are you sure we're talking about the same thing?
We are talking about the same salad. That zhuzh is not enough zhuzh for me.
Wow.
I need to add a protein. I need
Oh,
to add a lentil.
wow.
I need to add
Okay.
a grain.
Well, okay. This is the other thing you can do. At Trader Joe's, they have the salads in the box that have the protein.
Right.
So you could even get one of those and split it between you and Norm if you need protein in your salad. They have that too.
I will say that instant rice and instant beans also, you know, uses more packaging, but they have some really great flavors, especially at Whole Foods, like black beans, spiced black beans. I think there's some chickpeas. There's different brands, but it's like 90 seconds in the microwave. And that is great to add to a
Oh, I
salad.
didn't know you were going to go there. You add the beans and rice to the salad? Interesting.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying. My salads are quite the production.
Okay. I think you're doing too much. I think your expectations are too high. But I like this idea and I will look out for those. I haven't really gotten into those. So Sarah shared an overbuying strategy of is this a 10? And actually it was something that a listener suggested that you consider on a, scale of 1 to 10. Is this a 10? Which would mean that it is actually worth purchasing. If it's not a 10, not worth purchasing. I like that strategy. And I've also been using my own strategy to slow my overbuying down. And that is I must let something age in my cart for like at least 2 weeks. So if there's an impulse buy, if there's something that I see on Temu or Amazon or whatever store, I can put it in my cart. We've talked about the curating the cart thing that I get so much joy out of, but then you let it stay there for a couple of weeks. And inevitably it turns out I actually didn't need it or that feeling passes. And
Yeah,
that is working for me right now.
that's great. It's fun to
It
put stuff in the
is.
cart.
And obviously for me, because I'm an overbuyer, it's fun to then get the things, but
Right.
you can quickly have too many things. So good to have some strategies to slow it down, create some friction. All right, let's take a break. And when we get back, we'll dig into personal style.
Azizi, how's your dinner game these days?
Well, Malika, I used to struggle with what to cook for dinner.
You're cooking now?
Okay. Actually, my husband used to struggle with what to make for dinner. I mean, meal planning, grocery lists, yuck. But then we found Prep Dish. It's a weekly meal planning service that tells you exactly what to cook. And now they've partnered with Instacart, so your grocery list becomes a ready-to-go online cart.
Ooh, what's in your cart, Azizi?
All of the prep dish ingredients, plus I can add energy drinks, chili crisp, lipstick, whatever, and check out in just a few clicks. Shopping online is so fun. The meals are family-friendly, healthy, and super easy to prep. Dinner is easy to make, and now we look forward to new tasty meals.
Prep Dish is offering our listeners 2 weeks free. Just head to prepdish.com/happierladies to sign up. Again, that's prepdish.com/happierladies.
With a major selection of the looks your kiddos love starting at just $4 in the Walmart app, a new school year means a stylish new them. Who knew? Find skater skirts and Crocs that say, I'm casual but cool. Sparkly sneakers that say, it's my classroom, you're just learning in it. And preppy polos that say, I'm the teacher's pet, even if they're mommy's menace at home. Find their favorite styles starting at just $4 in the app. The Walmart you thought you knew is now new.
Now it's time for Festival of, where we go into great detail about a particular subject. And today is the Festival of Personal Style. We have been talking about this episode. We've been saying we were going to do it for a while. Obviously, style has been something we're both thinking about. How are you feeling about the fact that we are here now?
I'm excited. I could talk about this all day with you, Malika. Many of our conversations center around fashion anyway, so this is fun.
Yes.
How are you feeling?
I feel good. I thought I would have figured more things out about my personal style by now, but I'm glad we're talking about it. I think, to quote the quote in your refrigerator, progress, not perfection. And having this conversation is encouraging me to just kind of venture forth with what I know, start trying some things out, and not to do a style pun, but to see how things fit.
That's a good one. I mean, the other thing is that you kind of always have to revisit it as when you go through life, there are so many changes.
Yes.
There are changes in your work, in your family, in your body size and shape. And so it kind of requires a constant checking in anyway. It's a normal need to check in and reconsider style.
Yes. I don't think I have actually given it that much thought before. Somehow it just
This is
happened in
true.
my 20s and 30s. So it is a different season in life. And it is, I think, the first time I'm being very intentional about what my personal style is.
Same.
So we're going to start off with a very detailed listener suggestion about finding your signature style. This is a note from Vicky in Glasgow, Scotland. When I was at high school, I usually felt like I had no idea what to wear and found putting outfits together very stressful. Then, when I went to uni, I consciously put a lot of thought and research into how to build outfits, etc. And after many instances of my brain hurting from thinking about this topic so much, I eventually figured out my signature style. It's definitely trial and error, even once you feel like you've got it down. Tweaks are always necessary, and inevitably, we like to dress slightly differently depending on what stages of life we're in. No more bodycon mini dresses for me nowadays. I think the key is to find your absolute favorite style of something and then buy it in multiple colors/variations, ideally based on your favorite color palette. So for example, I will only wear very skinny jeans or leggings. I don't care if they are out of style, they are what suit me best. And I only really wear 2 types of shoes, trainers and flat ankle boots, usually that are laced up the front. With jackets, I go for puffer styles and denim, but not denim color. For example, I have a cream and gray denim jacket that are the exact same apart from the color. All of my jackets, apart from one that I only wear to work, are waist length, despite the fact that I see so many people wearing coats that go down to their calves or ankles. I don't wear dresses very often because I like to be warm, but if I was going to wear a dress in summer only, it would be a maxi. And I have 2 main color palettes, one for summer and one for winter. The summer one is a combination of white, cream, nudes, blush, light pink, minty sage, green, gray, lilac, light blue. And then the winter one is a combination of black, oxblood, dark bottle green, purple, dark charcoal gray, and mustard. No matter what, I will never wear bright yellow or light gray because I have learned from experience that they make me look ill. Once you've got the basics down, you can deviate a bit. For example, I say I will only wear skinny jeans or leggings as a rule, but I do also wear sweatpants. We would call them joggies in Scotland, but only those that are tight around the ankle. I think we are all naturally drawn to certain items, as Marie Kondo would say, that spark joy in our heart. So if you were starting from scratch, you could begin by identifying the items in your wardrobe that you absolutely love and think about how you could go from there, slash see if there's an overall theme or pattern coming through. And then finally, try to build outfits from head to toe, even possibly thinking about your socks and thinking about things like the weather you're usually exposed to, etc. Then keep those outfits for as long as possible. I just today wore an outfit to work that I know I wore in 2016 because I have a picture of me in it. I was in love with it then as much as I am now. Hope that is helpful.
Oh, wow. I loved every bit of that email. I love all the thoughtfulness and detail and could picture her style based on how she described it. She's very thoughtful about her personal style.
Very thoughtful. I love that she's got seasonal color palettes. I love
Yeah.
that she knows exactly what cuts she likes and then kind of leans into them. And I think that is something that I aspire to, like having a wardrobe that I could wear an outfit 5 years from now and it would still be totally relevant and like make me feel great.
Yeah.
So I think the level of thoroughness of considering the cut and the color, and I mean, I guess that's the main thing, the fit and the color and the style. It just feels so thorough.
Yeah. It takes out decision
Yes.
fatigue because then when you go into the store, you know always exactly what you're looking for and you can just bypass everything else and you don't have to make decisions about every single color or every single cut because you already done that. So this feels kind of freeing in a way, even though it maybe seems limiting on one hand. On the other hand, it's freeing. And the other thing I thought about was if I knew what your style guide was when I'm buying you gifts, I would know kind of exactly what to look
Yeah.
for. That would make it easy to shop for you also.
Likewise. That's funny. Maybe we can make style guides at Thanksgiving this year.
I love that. Let's make a style guide. Everyone could do a mood board. We could do Thanksgiving mood boards. We'll write it down. Put that on the
Okay.
list. I love that.
Thank you, Vicky, for taking the time to share your approach. We found it so inspiring, and hopefully our listeners will as well.
We used Masterclass platform to watch a class that was led by Tan France. Tan France is one of the members of Queer Eye on Netflix. He's the guy that does all the style and helps people go shopping. So he has his own course, and Malika and I are in the middle of it and got so much inspiration for this segment from that class. He had lots of great advice, including something he said, which is by making an effort with your style, you are saying, I deserve your respect. I love that. And it makes sense to dig into this a little bit and to be intentional because it really does send a message when you feel put together to people who are interacting with you. Malika, what did you take away from the masterclass?
I thought it was really fun. It was just nice to hear about Tan's personal journey with his own style. I am a Queer Eye fan, and so he is an expert in that context, but it was interesting to hear him talking about how he figured out what he liked. And I mean, his style journey started when he was like 7, which is
Right.
why he's an expert now. But that was really fun. I think the biggest takeaway I got so far is about what to include in a capsule wardrobe. So kind of having this stock wardrobe of maybe it's like 10 to 12 items that he encourages you to invest in to get solid pieces. Or he kind of said you can actually do this at any price point, but it's kind of thinking about things in a way that they're going to mix and match well. So I was just like scribbling notes through that. I think there were a lot of things that I
Mm.
don't have that I'm kind of on the lookout for, a really nice And by nice, I just mean fits me well, like button-up shirt. That was something that he recommended. And he talked about for these capsule wardrobe items, sticking more to neutrals so that they can really go with anything that you're getting. If you have some seasonal things, like your capsule wardrobe will still work with them. And I really appreciated the demonstration of like showing how somebody's outfit could go from day to night, or how these certain items could be rearranged for different occasions. And it really kind of hit home the power of accessories and shoes, that those are
Mm.
really great ways to express your style and kind of do something different. And your clothes can often be a base that doesn't change that much.
Wow. Yeah. I took away all of those things. I mean, the deep dive into the capsule wardrobe was fascinating. And for me, this class plus digging into the personal style icons, I realized that wearing solid colors elevates the look in my mind. It brings me closer to the look that I want, which is a little more expensive. So I'm definitely going to focus on solid colors now when I'm putting together my outfits and when I'm shopping. And Tan gets into prints later in the master class, and he said something like, prints are
Mhm.
personal, right? Which is maybe why it can not work or be universally flattering, because it just is such a personal thing. But there's ways to incorporate it in accessories and other ways instead of just wearing it all over. He also talked about the documentary Unzipped, which is a documentary that followed Isaac Mizrahi's fashion like runway show in, I don't know, like 1997 or something like that. And it brought back such great memories of 90s fashion and style icons. And I want to revisit that movie because I actually don't think I ever saw it. I remember it happening and I remember hearing about it. And I love Isaac Mizrahi, but I don't remember actually watching the documentary. So I'm going to look for that and that for more inspiration. But something else that Tan really drove home was to not compromise on fit.
Mm.
And I think this is something that I do, especially if I'm shopping at a thrift store or, if something's on sale, maybe I'll say it's okay that it doesn't exactly fit, it's a good price, but then I'm not doing myself any favors if it's not the most flattering. And so it's not worth it, even if it's just a few dollars. So that's something else I'm going to be thinking about.
Well, he talked a lot about going to a tailor. And I feel like they always mention this, like on what not to wear, they
Mhm.
talk about it. And it really does
Yeah.
feel to me like something that fancy people do.
Right.
And he kind of even demystified it and said, it can even be just a few dollars to get the hem changed on something. And so it makes a difference. And I think maybe that's something I'll put on my 25 for 25 list because I believe it. And I've, like I had my wedding dress fitted, or my jacket for my wedding. For those occasions, it felt like, of course, you want it to really fit. But I think you could find something that you love that doesn't quite fit right. And it seems like you could go to the tailor and then it would fit really well. And that
That's a good point.
might not be as expensive as you would think.
You know who takes things to the tailor?
Mommy?
Yes. Of course, right? She is like a fashion icon in her own right. So I think that would be a good goal. I could use that goal also to just go to a tailor,
Yeah.
try it out.
So I think it would be fun for us to share a few style icons that we are vibing with right now. So it could be a fictitious character, it could be some celebrity, public figure, but kind of who are you drawing fashion inspiration from now? And it doesn't have to be literal, just somebody who sparks something when you think of style for you.
So my first style icon is Amal Clooney, which is an interesting choice. She's a working woman. She's George Clooney's wife also.
Yes.
But there's something about her that is so glamorous and put together. She wears bold colors, solid colors, but a range of rich tones and just looks so effortless in her style. She wears a bold lip. She's got, dark hair, always kind of in a certain way. She's definitely one on my list. What about you?
So the first person on my list is Noel Fielding from the Great British Bake Off. He's one of the hosts. He's got a very, I would say, unapologetically whimsical slash kind of a goth style, which that's not really my thing, but I love
No.
there's something about his head to toe kind of look that I think is just really satisfying. And there's like a range within a very specific category. That is what I find aspirational. Like all of his outfits are very much him. There's a range in there, but they still give his brand, I guess. And I love the whimsy of his shirts. They're just so fun. And again, it's not things that I would wear, but I think I would like to have a touch of that quality.
Hmm. Wow.
That surprised you, huh?
It did, yeah. But I get it. I understand it because I think my next style icon is similar. It's Carla Hall. Carla Hall is a chef. I think she started on Top Chef in the early seasons. And now she's like a mainstay on Food Network. She's often judging their baking competitions. And she has so much fun with her style. Her look is like head to toe. It's also whimsical, but it's put together. It looks so fun. So even though I wouldn't necessarily wear the pieces that she wears, she does do a lot of patterns. I like that she is consistent and it's bright and fun, her
Mm-hmm.
style. So she's definitely someone who I channel and kind of want to put on my mood board.
She was on an episode of Happier a long time ago.
Was she?
Yeah.
Oh, I have to go revisit that. I don't remember. That was a long time ago. I'll revisit that. I'm going to make a note.
So my next style icon is Bree Sheridan. And Bree is a character from Virgin River, show on Netflix.
Uh-huh.
Now, Bree is an attorney, and her style, I would describe it as understated, unfussy, and elegant. She wears a lot of solid colors and neutrals, but then with like a striped t-shirt. It's kind of the opposite of Noel Fielding. Like there's nothing really bold about her look, but somehow it feels so functional and like maybe just pretty with like a lowercase p. Though it's not overly feminine, but for some reason I noticed it when she came on as a character of the show, and I find myself Googling her outfits and looking on Pinterest. So it's struck some chord in me. I think it's very attainable also because it's not super special. This sounds pejorative.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's not super special.
There's nothing like so out of the ordinary you couldn't find it at
Hmm.
Gap or Old Navy. But the way that she is styled and something about it feels really easy and put together.
Okay. My next style icon is Jenna Lyons. And I spoke about her before because Liz also shared about Jenna Lyons and how much she admires her fashion sense. But Jenna has the bold glasses, the red lip, pulled back, sort of slick hair, and just completely effortless, but at the same time expensive or luxurious, both accessible and inaccessible, like somehow, it's like it fits so well and looks comfortable, but also looks stylish and bold. So I love that. She was, I believe, the executive director for J. Crew for a long time and made all their fashion choices. And she's now a real housewife of New York somehow, but you wouldn't mistake anyone else for her when you see her look.
So my final icon for this conversation is Tess Holliday. She is a model based in Los Angeles, and I would say model and kind of body positive activist. I think her personal style is kind of edgy. What I resonate with about her style is just her body confidence. And
Hmm.
like it's so bold, free, like she's not afraid to show cellulite, she's not afraid to show rolls, and it just kind of feels so kind of expansive and forward thinking in terms of really including any body in our kind of concept of fashion and beauty. So I really feel inspired by that. And, as my body has changed, over the years, like it can be easy to try to harken back to an earlier era or something, like a different body that I had, which I don't have now,
Hmm.
but I really want to
Hmm.
celebrate who I am today and for my style to
Hmm.
reflect that without any kind of caveats around it.
If I was going to add a bonus style icon, can I have four? Who has confidence also, and it's one that I actually go back to, and I have a coffee table book of it. It's Marilyn Monroe. She is like the epitome of confidence and swagger and like, look at me, but also what she wore, which, was a lot about what people were wearing in the times, but it was kind of well fitted and I know a little bit luxurious but also feminine. I don't know. Marilyn Monroe is one who I like her look as well and her confidence. But Malika, do you remember Mode magazine?
Of course.
This was a magazine that came out, I think in like 1996, 97, and it was a high fashion magazine with all plus size models. And it was the first time I ever saw larger bodied women who looked confident, who looked stylish, who were flirty, who, had like whole lives in a mass marketed publication. It was the first time and it blew my mind because these bodies looked like mine. And fortunately, the magazine went out of print in like 2001 and there's nothing like it now. It's kind of like it was this unique period in time when that kind of publication was possible. But anyway.
Yeah, I think you must have purchased them and I read them all like over and over and over again.
Right? I still have a few. I think from move to move to move, I let go of a lot of them, but I have one or two, because it just reminds me of how important it is to see people who look like you and of how confident you can be no matter what your size is.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso and Samra Origins by the Weekend Coffee Collection.
Introducing Samra Origins. My collaboration with Nespresso is a connection to my roots, to my mother, Samra. Coffee that hits the right notes. It transports you. Crafted with unique notes and bold soaring flavors. Experience a taste that moves you. Nespresso and Samra Origins.
Discover more at Nespresso.com.
Next, we're going to discuss our 3 style words. And this was something that Liz learned from Alison Bornstein, who's a professional stylist, who suggested that you come up with a practical word, an aspirational word, and an emotional word to define your style. So Malika and I did this. Malika, what are your 3 words?
All right. So my 3 words are comfortable, timeless, and whimsical.
Okay.
So comfortable is like about ease and things actually feeling good on my body. I think I'm done with bras with wire in them.
What? No.
An aside, I don't know.
You're just going to say it like that.
I found a really good one that's wire free. And I'm like, why do I don't know. We can come back to that later. But in general, I'm trying to prioritize comfort. I don't like having marks on my body anymore from ill-fitting things. Timeless. It's just like that classic, kind of alluding to what Vicky mentioned in her note to us, to have outfits that look good today, tomorrow, 10 years from now, good style, but not necessarily connected to a particular trend. And then the emotional word whimsical is really about just a sense of, I guess, joy, freshness, joy, a little bit of a sense of humor and point of view in a light way that hopefully can come through in my style.
It's interesting because I would think of whimsical and timeless as like at odds with each other.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, maybe looking to the past at people who had a whimsical style to see what kinds of things did they wear or do.
You know who came to mind just then was Tim Gunn. I feel like he's got a timeless but whimsical style.
What is whimsical about his style? Do you think like a pocket square?
Yes.
Or
a bright pocket square, like his socks, suspenders. He's got his glasses. There's like a little cheekiness.
And the accessories.
It's usually in
small
the accessories.
touches in the accessories.
Yeah.
Interesting.
What are your words, Azizi?
So my words are effortless, I don't want it to look fussy. I don't want to look like I tried hard. I actually don't want to try hard. Like I want it to actually be effortless. I want it to feel put together, luxurious. So I'm at a stage where I want to project that it's quality. I
Mm,
want to project that it's quality. I want it to look cheap. Not that anybody ever wants to look cheap, but I just want things to look like quality,
mhm,
what I'm wearing, the pieces that I'm wearing. And then I also want to be approachable. So I don't want it to be so over the top or look so fancy that someone might feel like I can't talk to her, right? I
mm,
don't want it to feel that way. I also have a job where sometimes I need to sit on the floor, sometimes I
mm.
need to be supervising a yard, in the sand. So it does actually need to travel well from a boardroom to a sandbox. So to me, that's like the approachable part of my dress.
I think that's the tagline of your fashion brand, Azizi, from boardroom to sandbox.
Who else is going from the boardroom to the sandbox except for people in my role? I don't know. I'm not sure there's a large audience for that brand, but it is my brand. That's true. Are you going from the sandbox to the boardroom, Malika?
No,
You do go from a meeting to a sandbox,
that's true. I do go to a
or
sandbox.
mud kitchen to meeting, you can
That's true.
say.
Mud kitchen to meeting. So we have really just scratched the surface in terms of our personal style investigation. We're going to continue this conversation in a future episode. We'll make it a segment. So we'll continue to ruminate on these things. Maybe we'll start trying these words out and some of the
Okay,
things we talked about, and we will continue this conversation next week.
sounds good.
So let's take a break. And when we come back, we will discuss our peaks and valleys. And we are back with peaks and valleys because in life, there are always peaks and valleys. This is an even episode. So, Azizi, you are up first with a peak.
Yes. Well, I am so proud of myself. I'm giving myself a peak. I'm feeling like I'm at the peak because I achieved an alfresco family dinner with my family.
Yay!
It was something that was on my list of things to do on my 24 for 24 was eating. I can't remember how many I said, but so many meals together at the table because that's not our norm. And so that was something that I wanted to do. And then for summer, I wanted to do it outdoors and take advantage of our yard and sort of zhuzh. So I cleaned up outside, got the tablecloth out, put out the lights. We had all the s'mores things. I had my husband turn on the fireplace. And then I had to fight to make sure that no one ate until it was time to eat and so that we could do it all together. So it took a little bit of bullying, but in the end, it was worth it to have everybody sitting at the table together outside. And then we got to do our s'mores together. And now, different people are traveling in different places for different programs. It's going to be a while before we're all together again, but I'm so proud of myself for making that happen, even though it required a little bit of bullying.
Congratulations. That's a big accomplishment. I'm sure it was nice to enjoy that family time.
It was nice. And it's just like the power of having a plan,
Yes.
like having a goal, having a plan, and sticking with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. What's your valley, Malika?
So my valley is around my birthday. Even with all of the birthday month festivities, I'm still feeling all of this pressure around what I'm going to actually do on my birthday.
Oh,
Not from anybody else, but I just want it to be good. There's no getting around that I want the birthday itself. And so I have a couple different ideas. I'm going to be in New York. There's a couple friends who will be around because we're all going to the same wedding. So I want to incorporate them somehow. And
mm.
so I'm thinking about other people's schedules. And then I'm like, oh, I should see a play. I love theater. Why am I not seeing a show in New York?
Oh,
But
Hamilton?
I've already seen Hamilton.
Oh. I
It
haven't.
would be great to see it again. But I don't know. That's another thing. Like,
Okay.
And maybe because it's in New York, it feels like there's just so many possibilities. And
Yeah, that's true.
it's still just a 24-hour period. And I don't like doing too many events on a day. We know
But this is not any day.
it's not any
This is your
day.
birthday.
I think there's also the like Indigo is not going to be there with us. So there's this sense of like we need to maximize, adult, like toddler free time and do something really fun. And I don't know. I'm in a tizzy and like we're 2 weeks away.
That's so hard because you're right. In New York, you could do anything.
Yeah.
You literally could do anything in New York. Like everything is a possibility. And you don't have a child. I get it. I see where you're at with this.
So I think part of it is like, yes, this is a milestone birthday, but I could just treat every birthday like it's a milestone birthday.
Yeah.
So there will be more. And also, it's not that hard for us to get to New York.
Right.
Like
that's right. It's not like Paris or
Right.
something. This is not your last time ever in New York. And something that helps me sometimes, like when I'm traveling and I'm overwhelmed by all the possibilities, is to leave something for later, right? Like, don't try to do all the things. Just know I'm going to come back, or just say to yourself, I'm going to come back. I need to leave some things for later that are going to be fun.
Mhm.
So the hard part is prioritizing. But what about a food tour? You've been on food tour journey.
I know. I've looked into food tours. I'm weighing like doing a food tour versus going to like a really nice restaurant or like I'm looking at like Top
fancy
Chef,
dinner.
Bravo, Top
Top
Chef
chef
restaurant.
fancy dinner.
So like they're not even
Yeah.
necessarily like super expensive, but like a restaurant where I feel like, oh, this chef, I really want to try their food,
Yeah. Yeah. If it were me, I would do fancy dinner because you don't have Indigo. And that's definitely a vibe, maybe with a show.
Right.
Well, let me know if I can help you at all.
Okay. Yes. Well, there might be like fancy cocktails, in one place and like
Fancy cocktails.
fancy brunch somewhere
Yeah.
else. I don't know.
That's too much. Now you've gone too far.
Okay. Gotta work. Yeah. Well,
one fancy meal, maybe a cocktail, and then one activity.
all right. Well, I'll let you know, but that's the valley. It's a quality valley to have.
It is not a bad valley if you had to pick one. Having too many good things to do is not a bad valley.
All right. Well, that brings us to the end. Azizi, let's leave on a happier thought. What are you going to try this week?
I am going to finish watching the master class and think about, our style tips. What about you, Malika?
Same. I'm going to finish that class and I'm going to start thinking about these 3 words.
Yes.
Thank you for listening to this episode. You can find our show notes in the episode description. If you like us, rate, review, and tell a friend. And don't forget to follow us.
Send us a message at happierladies@gmail.com and tell us something you liked about Happier and Happier in Hollywood this week.
Our show was edited by Magnus Bjorgum, and our theme music was created by Wyatt Muncie.
And we also want to give a special shout out to Gretchen Rubin, Liz Kraft, and Sarah Thane for inspiring our conversation each week.
You can find us on Instagram at happierladies and on the web at happierladies.com. All right, Azizi, have a happier week.
Have a happier week, Malika.
Bye.
Bye.
How are we talking about me and my salad consumption now?
This is all about you. Now it's my job to convince you to eat more salad.
The table's turn. I'm happy with my salad lifestyle.
All right.
This podcast is part of the Sound Advice FM network. Sound Advice FM, women's voices amplified.